Would like to welcome the guest, Dr. D. Nallanna Garu, to address the gathering. Nallanna Garu. Welcome.
Namo Venkateshaya. A very good morning to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the participants, Conference of Fossils and National Seminar on Mythology and Lore Traditions. I welcome all the eminent speakers and guests from all over come here to share their knowledge and experience. We are very happy to see you all up together. We are very happy to see. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, G.S. Krishnamurti Garu, who is the backbone in guiding and me with me full enthusiasm for conducting the conference to this dais. Another one, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Professor and Chairman Borlingay Garu of Kannada Development Authority to the dais. Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome HC I would like to welcome our guest of honor, Professor K. Ramasubramanian Garu, Presidential Awardee, former Professor of Sahitya and NSU for the honors. Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome Professor Raghavan Payad from Calcutta University to this dais. Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome Professor G.K. Panikar of the Dravidian Linguistics and also for the dais. Thank you, sir. I would like to welcome Professor Bhaktasal Reddy Garu and Krishna Reddy Garu and also other eminent persons of the folklore program. Sir, we are warm welcome to the dais. We wish this conference would be a great success with all of the great source of contribution in gaining immense knowledge and share this function. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now I would like to Miss K. Vasanti and T. Alekia to the prayer.
తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళారతులు మా తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళారతులు కడుపులో బంగారు కనుచూపులో కరుణ చిరునవ్వులో సిరులు దొరలించు మా తల్లి మా తెలుగు తల్లికి మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళారతులు గలగల గోదారి కదలిపోతుంటేను బిరబిరా కృష్ణమ్మ పరుగులెడుతుంటేను బంగారు పంటలే పండుతాయి మురిపాలము మల్లె పూదండ మా కన్న తల్లికి మంగళారతులు. అమరావతి నగర అపురూప శిల్పాలు త్యాగయ్య గొంతులో తారాడు నాదాలు. అమరావతి నగర అపురూప శిల్పాలు త్యాగయ్య గొంతులో తారాడు నాదాలు. తిక్కయ్య కలములో తీయందనాలు నిత్యమై నిఖిలమై నిలచియుండేదాకా. రుద్రమ్మ భుజ శక్తి మల్లమ్మ పతి భక్తి తిమ్మర సుధీయుక్తి కృష్ణరాయల కీర్తి. మా చెవుల రింగుమని మారు మోగేదాకా నీ ఆటలే ఆడుతాం, నీ పాటలే పాడుతాం. జై తెలుగు తల్లి, జై తెలుగు తల్లి, జై తెలుగు తల్లి. ధన్యవాదాలు.
Thank you for the song. Sorry for disturbance. Just I missed one name, important person. Sorry, sir. I would like to welcome our chief guest, Purushottam Biramalai, Chairman of Kannada Development Authority, sir. Please. Sorry. Now the lighting lamp by the dignitaries of the dais. Please, sir.
we are in the 31st Annual Conference of Fossils and the National Seminar on now I request to honor the guests by giving bouquet to Professor G.S.R. Krishnamurti, Honorable Vice Chancellor of National Sanskrit University, by Nallana, the organizing secretary. Request you, sir, to give, to honor Professor Purushottama Billimale, the Chairman, Kannada Development Authority, Government of Karnataka. I request you, sir, to honor Professor H.G. Boralegaya, former Vice Chancellor of Kannada University and the President of Fossils. I request to honor Professor K. Ramasuri Narayan Garu, the President Awardee, former Professor of Sahitya, National Sanskrit University. And I request the organizing secretary to honor our keynote paper presentation by Professor Raghavan Painadu. He is part and parcel of the fossils. Now, he was a former professor of folklore from Calcutta University. And also, I request our organizing secretary to honor Professor J.K. Padikar, Director, the International School of Dravidian Linguistics, Trivandrum. And I request P. Lakshmi Narayana to the dais, please. I'm sorry, I could not. Sri Padilya Lakshmi Narayana is the Director, Student Technologies in Tirupati. And I think it's my duty. Come on. Yes, organizing secretary, please come. And it is my duty now to particularly introduce the theme of this conference. As you all know, for the last 33 years, Fossils is doing its service to the scholars of folklore and related fields by organizing the annual conferences. Altogether, we have organized 30 conferences in collaboration with different institutions and the universities, almost in all states of South India. We didn't go to North India so far, but we have done. And this year, to be frank, our, I think Satyanarayana is here. He approached his VC, and VC has readily accepted to organize this conference. But unfortunately, because of the change in the government and the vice chancellors, they were not very happy to take this responsibility. So when this is the case, we really approached our Professor Prasad Murthy Garu to use this good, to make or to organize this conference. Fortunately, he was in National Sanskrit University on the same day. And immediately he called us, you come to VC office, and I am here only. So myself and Dr. Professor B. Krishna Reddy, we rushed there, and our Vice Chancellor, he accepted within 10 minutes. Without any hesitation, he accepted to organize this conference in this institution. It shows his commitment to the culture. And later on, we met him so many times, and it has been proved that he was very generous to give the funding also for this conference. And you know that I want to remember with respect our first 3 presidents of fossils who are responsible for the development of fossils all these years. One is Professor K.S. Haridas Bhatt. He is the founder, president of Folklore Society of South Indian Languages. He was the director there, Regional Resource Center for Folklore at Udupi. Second, Professor B. Ramaraju from Usmania University, the first PhD from Andhra Pradesh. Then the man behind the fossils organization and development is Professor V.I. Subramania Garu. Is the man of, or I can say, is the builder of institutions. He is the founder, founder head of the Department of Tamil, Department of Linguistics at Kerala University, and he is the man who was heading both the departments simultaneously in same university. And he is the first Vice Chancellor of Tamil University, and he is the man who is responsible to establish the Dravidian University in Kuppam. And he is the man who established the Dravidian Linguistics Association as well as International School of Dravidian Linguistics and also International Journal of Dravidian Linguistics. He is no more. When he was the president, we received a grant from the Ford Foundation. That's why we were able to expand our activities by organizing the workshop series, by publishing the several books, that is a series of folk tales of South India, the annotated bibliography of South Indian folklore, like that we have done, and they are responsible for that. So in this occasion, I remember them all. And as far this conference is concerned, because we are organizing in the National Sanskrit University, and Sanskrit is having its own influence on Indian languages, so we thought that we can take one area as a mythology and Indian folk and tribal traditions. So that's why the first thrust area is mythology, and we also made it as a national seminar. And the second theme is one Nedunuri Gangadharam. If you see from Mackenzie, C.P. Brown and Nedunuri Gangadharam, the similarity is this, all these scholars or pundits or the workers, what they have done is, without any benefit out of folklore, they collected the folklore by paying from their pockets. So that is the point. We can see the similarity among these three people. Nedunuri Gangadharam, if you see his library, it is even any university also didn't do that much of work. So it is our honor to remember him on this occasion. So that was the first area. And another is folklore is not part of the social media. Folklore as a social media, it is coming up. So that's why another area is social media and folklore. And you know, the burning issue at the international level is what called environmental problems. So we want to address on all these issues. That's why these 4 areas have been taken for this conference. And we are really very happy. So many people have come from different parts of South India. On behalf of the Fosils and also National Sanskrit University, I extend warm welcome to all our delegates and friends. Thank you.
Now I would like to welcome the chairperson, presidential address by Chairperson Krishnamurthy, Vice Chancellor, National Sanskrit University, Tirupati.
Srimadhya Gurubhyo Namaha. First of all, at the outset, I would like to congratulate all the members of the Folklore South Indian Society, Southern Languages. I also convey my pranams to Visalakshama, who is the incarnation of Goddess Saraswati. She did so many works. She knows so many scripts, and manuscriptology is a special subject. She came here. I heartily welcome you, madam. It is my fortune. And also today, the World Women's Day celebrations. I greeting all the members of ladies and gentlemen. We are going to performing the next session, the Women's Day celebrations. When our knowledge, this is the milestone of our university. Because of this type of conference, didn't get organized here itself. It is the first time. This credit goes to our Nalana Sahab. He is the head of the department of Telugu. Our Telugu is the one of the unit and supporting subject. But we want to enrich the Telugu department and also PG and interdisciplinary research also to be done. In this time, tomorrow is planning and monetary committee meeting will be held. We put in this item in that meeting also. And Honorable N. Bhaktavatsala Reddy Garu, namaskar. He came to me, and we are organizing the folklore conference. The 30 years we are organizing every year. In this year, we choose your institution to conduct and organize the national seminar. Now, what is the relation between Sanskrit and folklore? This is one of this one. Then he told me mythology and Indian folk and tribal lore traditions. He related. It is very nice. And also so many valuable papers will be presented here. We publish all papers. This credit goes to our university. And also we encash the opportunity. I heartily welcome you one and all. And also Purushottama Military Kannada Development Authority. There is one integration, you see, our in music, the Karnataka music, singers, Tamilian singers. And the literature is Telugu literature. This is the correlation between three southern languages. This is the integrity. That Kannada Development Authority, Government of Karnataka, Chairman Purushottam, Milamate, Billy Mail. I congratulate you, sir. You came here, you come here, and also putting your ideas and noble ideas in this occasion. I heartily welcome you, sir. And H.A. Borlingaya, he is the Vice Chancellor, he is the President Awardee, former Professor of Sahitya, that is Borlingaya, former Vice Chancellor, Kannada University, Hampi also. And he is the K. Ramaswamy, he is my best guru. That's why I pronounce pranam here, sir. तेषाम आगमनेन वो आ गए, इनसे जो है उनका मैं हार्टी कंगरा माने वेलकम कर रहा हूँ और उनका प्रणाम करते हुए इनके भाषण बहुत इतना सुंदर होता है. ఆయన తెలుగులో మాట్లాడితే మీరు అసలు ఏదో మైమర్చిపోతారండి. ఒక్కసారి తెలుగు యొక్క సౌందర్యం తెలవాలంటే ఆయన భాషలోనే ఉంటుంది. ఆయన ఇటువంటి కార్యక్రమాలకు ఎప్పుడు రావడానికి ఇష్టపడరు. నేను చెబుతాను, మాకు కొంచెం ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఉందనుకోండి, ఇది సెల్ ఫోన్, దానికి ఛార్జ్ అయిపోతుంటే మేము ఛార్జ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. అలాగే మా ఛార్జ్ ఎప్పుడైనా వెనక్కి వచ్చేస్తుంటే సార్ని ఒకసారి పిలిచి ఆయన ఇచ్చేస్తామంటే మా ఛార్జ్ ఎన్రిచ్ అవుతుంది, చాలా బాగా ట్యూన్ బాగుంటుంది. ఆ విషయంతో వారిని నేను ప్రార్థించాను. వెంటనే అన్నారు నన్ను వదిలిపెట్టేయండి అని. ఎంచేదంటే ఈ విషయం మైథాలజీ అండ్ ఫోక్లోర్, ఈ ట్రైబల్, ఈ విషయం చాలా డీప్గా వెళ్ళవలసిన విషయం. మనకి మొట్టమొదటి నుంచి చూసినట్టయితే అక్కడి నుంచే మన ఇదంతా కూడా సివిలైజేషన్ బాగా ఇది డెవలప్ అయింది. మనకి అథర్వవేదం చూడండి, వేదాలు చూడండి, అక్కడలో ఇవన్నీ మనకు కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటాయి ఫోక్లోర్లో. అంటే మీరు ఇప్పటికి కూడా మీరు ఒక విషయం చెబుతాను, మనకి బెణుకు మంత్రం, తేలు మంత్రం, ఆ మంత్రాలు ఈ మంత్రాలు ఉంటాయి కదా, అవి కనుక చూసినట్టయితే ఆ లాంగ్వేజ్ దగ్గరగా ఉంటాయండి. అలా చేస్తేనే అవన్నీ పట్టిస్తాయని అంటుంటారు. అంతేనా అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి ఎన్నో మనకున్నాయి. రామాయణం కూడా అక్కడి నుంచే వచ్చింది కదండి. మానసాద ప్రతిష్టాంతం వాల్మీకి అక్కడి నుంచే తీసుకొచ్చాడు. మీకు అక్కడి నుంచి ఎంతో మనకి లిటరేచర్ బాగా అభివృద్ధి పొందింది. అటువంటి విషయాలు చాలా గంభీరంగా ఉంటాయి. ఇవన్నీ చెప్పగలనా లేదా అని వారు అన్నారు. మీరు మాట్లాడితే చాలండి మాకు బ్రహ్మాండంగా ఉంటుందని నేను నల్లన్న గారు సార్ని రిక్వెస్ట్ చేశాం. ఆయన వెంటనే ఒప్పుకున్నారు. ఇదంతా కావాలంటే చాలా తక్కువ సమయం, నేను చెప్పలేను, ఇదిగా ఉంటుందని అనలేదు ఆయన. కొంతమంది చాలా పెద్ద పెద్ద ప్రొఫెసర్స్ అడిగితే ఈ విషయం ఏమిటండి, ఇంత పెద్ద బరువు పెట్టేసి వారం రోజుల్లో చెప్పమంటే నేను ఎలా చెబుతానని అన్నారు. మాస్టర్ అలా అనలేదు, కానీ అన్నా కానీ మేము చెప్పిన దానికి వెంటనే ఒప్పుకున్నారు. వచ్చారండి, ఒకసారి మనం అంతా ఆయన ఇది చూస్తామండి. అలాగే రాఘవన్ ఫైనండ్, ఫార్మర్ ప్రొఫెసర్ ఆఫ్ ఫోక్లోర్, కాలికట్ యూనివర్సిటీ, కాలికట్ from Kerala. He came here. And also G.K. Panikar, Director International School of Dravidian Linguistics, Thiruvananthapuram. Panikar Sahab, Namaskar. P. Lakshmi Narayana, sir. He is very youngster, and also we say listen his papers and whatever maybe we will printed. And with these words, I conclude my presidential remarks. Thank you.
Now I would like Professor Purushottam Bilimili Garu, Chairman Kannada Development Authority, Government of Karnataka, to give the address of gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor G.S. Krishnamurthy, dignitaries of the dais, scholars and friends. From 1988 onwards, FOSIL is working very hard to retain folklore and to further folklore to scholarly work. and from last 30 years, Fossil is organizing its conference, and I was able to participate in some of the conferences, though I was unable to participate in all the conferences. For this, I should thank the core group of Fossil, including Bhaktavatsal Reddy, Raghavan Payyanad, and many others. Really, they spent money from their pocket. They spent a lot of time to promote this discipline in South India. Sometimes they extended their service up to North India also. So thanks very much for giving me an opportunity to speak few words about folklore in this conference. Now already we are getting late, and Professor Raghavan Payyanad, my long-time friend, is going to give a keynote address. So I should not peek into or poke my nose into his subject. But few words that we may think and we may discuss either today, tomorrow, or later also. After the market is open to global world, three things started happening seriously in India and in South Asia and in other parts of the world. Number one, we are witnessing seriously the death of languages. If a language dies, then there is no mythology, there is no folklore, and a major part of the folklore is going to extinct. We are witnessing, I am going to substantiate my statement with some statistics later. Number two, because of the capitalism, the growth of capitalism after 1992, now you must have read that more than 10 lakh crore rupees coming to Bangalore. 10 lakh crore rupees, that is the 3 years Karnataka state's budget. So it's coming to Karnataka, and the investment will take its own time and is going to affect the development of the society. That ultimately that leads to the death of communities. The death of language is one, the death of community is the second one. Now, I was reading a paper some time ago. In and around Mysore, next 30 years, there will be 18 communities are going to extinct. Nobody cares about their death. I'll give some statistics later. The third one is the death of philosophy. Honorable Vice Chancellor, heading Sanskrit University, know how much India is known for its wonderful debates. It may be between Dvaita and Advaita, Advaita and Vishishtadvaita, or Vishishtadvaita and Sankhya. There are, I mean, wonderful arguments we had. But now hardly we have any arguments. If you start arguments, you are going to target it in one way or other way. So these are the three things actually we are witnessing. Now number one, the death of languages. See, according to 2011 census, India has 9, it's not listed anywhere, it's not in the census, it's not in the government guidelines, I mean, it's nowhere. We have, in Karnataka, we have more than 230 languages. Kannada is the major language, but we have more than 230 languages inside Karnataka. I was in Calicut for some time, and I heard there are a lot of, other languages also, including Malayalam. Malayalam is the major language, but there are some other tribal languages. So India has 19,569 languages as per 2011 census, and I'm waiting for 2021 census, but 21 census not happened because of the corona. 22 is over, 23 is over, 24 is also over, now 25, we don't know when we are getting 2021 census actually. Every 10 years we used to get 10 census. Now first time after independence, the census has postponed for some reason. First time it's a corona, and sometime then the election and so many. But somehow we have to rely on the census we have online 2011. Now we don't know what is the current status of the languages in India. Now out of 19,569 languages, Indian Constitution in its 8th schedule has recognized just 22 languages. 22 languages. And I'm not very sure should I say or not, but out of 22 languages, 18 languages belong to North India and just 4 languages from South India, though I have 230 languages in Karnataka, there are more than 100 languages in Tamil Nadu, and there are more than 60 languages in Kerala, as per the scholars. So, but these are the regional variations. Now let us not, make it a political statement, but I am just, focusing on the death of languages. Now, according to UNESCO report, my friends, honorable friends from CAL may be knowing it, 172 languages are going to extinct within next 100 years. 172. About 92 languages are going to extinct within next 50 years. About 30 languages going to extinct within next 25 years. And these statistics are not exaggerated. I will give you two examples from my state. Now, Kodava language is one of the most vibrant language, having a mythology, having a lot of lore, folklore, proverb, and independent language. According to 2001 census, it counts about 1,66,000 speakers. And according to 2011 census, it documents only 1,32,000. It means 30,000 speakers less in 10 years, means 19% gone down. 19% gone. It's not a good sign of a language. So if language dies, then where is the mythology? The mythology is a wonderful area we have to work actually. And A.K. Ramanujan actually spread some light on that. Now, Professor Krishnamurti Garu can shed some more light on that, because see, most of scholars like me never read Sri Harsha's Naishadhiya Charita. It's one of the greatest Sanskrit epic, toughest Sanskrit epic. But somehow in Kannada literature, see, there's the Sanskrit epic transferred into Naladamayanti or Nalacharita in Kannada in 14th century. Kanakadasa rewrote it in Kannada. It's a beautifully. So we know little bit of Naishadhiya Charita through an epic written by Kanakadasa in Kannada. In 740, one Mr. Dwajapura Nagapaya converted the Naladamayanti of Kanakadasa or Nalacharita of Kanakadasa into a Naladamayanti Yakshagana episode. Now it has gone to Yakshagana. Now I see Yakshagana right now. If I take you to Mangalore, you can see Naladamayanti. But the Naladamayanti story has traveled from Naishadhiya Charita to Kanakadasa to Dwajapura Nagapaya and to the contemporary Yakshagana. So that is the movement of the epics from greater tradition to inverted comma. Raghavan Payyanadu may not agree with that. From greater tradition to small tradition or anything. See, these are the problems, the words. Now, if you go to Rajasthan, then you will see another folk epic called Dola Maru. Beautifully narrated. Dola Maru is what? The Dola is the son of Nala. Nala. All Naishadhiya Charita and Nala's Naladamayanti or Nalacharita or in Yakshagana, the story ends with the Nala remarrying Damayanti. It's coming back to Nishada. Finished. Story finished. But the Dolamaru starts from after marrying Damayanti, the Nala gets a child called Dola. Then he fell in love with the girl called Maru. The story continues. Now, if you want to know India, we should be able to understand Naishadhiya Charita. If you want to know what is Karnataka, then you should be able to understand Nalacharita. Then if you want to be able to connect this to the Yakshagana, then to the Dola Maru, that's a beautiful India constructed or retold in the various forms of the epics. So we should be able to comprehend all these tellings. Anyhow, now most of the communities are dying. Now according to UNESCO, as I told you, many languages. Now the Koraga I told you, Kodava language I had told you. According to 1881, the first census which has taken place in Mysore counts 55,000 speakers of the Koraga language. Koraga, not Kodava, Koraga language. 55,000 speakers. Now 2011 census documents only 11,000 speakers. And actually my friends are working with the Koraga says there are not more than 2,000 people speaking Koraga language. It means next 10-15 years this language is going to die. So badly we are witnessing the death of languages. Badly we are witnessing the death of languages. Now Sera language is one of the most beautiful languages, died in April 4th of 2021 during Corona. Anvita Abbi has reported that the language is down. Now, my long-time friend, Vice Chancellor, former Vice Chancellor and the current President of Yakshagana, Janapada Parishat, S.C. Borlingaya, we know one language is called Bellari. Bellari language was spoken somewhere in Kundapur area. And even I worked during 80s, I worked with the Bellaris. But now there is no such language. Bellari language is completely extincted. So we are witnessing death of languages badly. We are witnessing death of communities because of the bigger investments, internationalization, and so many things actually. And the death of philosophy. Hardly any philosophy left out in the world now. Now the fascism says, I say you have to believe. And there are a lot of people will make you to believe. Even in Yakshagana. Yakshagana is one of the most beautiful art form which had a lot of philosophy within it. For example, when Krishna and Arjuna together in a chariot, he meets Bhishma in Kurukshetra, right? Bhishma in Kurukshetra. Now at one time, the Bhishma throws an arrow to Krishna's forehead. It's a Yakshagana story. Now the blood comes out. Krishna got angry and Krishna throws his chakra to kill Bhishma. Then Bhishma says, Krishna, just stop a minute. I want to have a talk with you. See, this is a philosophy. Philosophy within the mythology, or the mythology transformed into a theater form. Krishna asked why. He asked one question. Krishna, are you God or not? Do you have karma bandhana or not? See, it's a very difficult question for Krishna. If he says, I don't have karma bandhana, I am a God. If I don't have a karma bandhana, then Bhishma asks, if you don't have a karma bandhana, what are you doing here? Sitting on the chariot, holding chakra, getting angry, doing all this nonsense. Why? No, this is my part of these things. The argument continues. Argument continues for 1 hour, 2 hours. See, that's why we are all developed actually. We are all grown with the Indian philosophy through folk performances. We don't know anything about the Karma Siddhanta or whatever told in the greatest epics or Shastra Granthas. We don't know that. But we know a little bit of that. If Krishna says, I am a God, then he says, what are you doing here? If you're being a God, what are you doing here? Why are you holding a chariot? And all the argument goes for 2 hours, 3 hours. Wonderful argument. Now, the Yakshagana has gone down to 3 hours performance. There is no argument. Completely argument. There is no argument. Even in folk tradition also, because of the time, pressure and so many other things, globalized world now, it has gone down. So that's one. The philosophy is decaying. These three developments actually made folklore, suffering actually. They made folklore suffering. Now we don't know where to start and where to go. Now the change of community or the death of community has two dimensions. Number one, see, after 92, whether we agree or not, the Hindutva has grown very sharply. You know that. The Hindutva has grown as a political power and as a religious power. It has a very strong impact on Indian society. Now, it's our responsibility. What is the effect of Hindutva on tribal lore? Tribal lore is one of the subject here going to be discussed today and tomorrow. Now, I was in Sidhu Kamu University, Jharkhand for something. So we made a little study with the Jharkhand communities, and I know what is happening in Mangalore also. So the mythology has completely shifted to some other mythology. For example, they used to pray local gods. The tribes used to pray local gods. And each local god has a mythology, a small story or a small song. Everything was there. Now, between God and a tribe, somebody else entered, and they have converted the local god into a major god, and they submerged the local god with the pan-Indian gods like Rama, Krishna. So the original god structure is completely transformed into another god. So there is a god, I don't say that God's concept has been demolished. No. But the God has been transformed into another God. Now, when your God, when you know your God, you used to converse with him in your language. And every year during the ritual, you used to tell the story in your language. Now, when the God is transformed to another type of the God, then the narration is completely changed now. Now, somebody else has to tell his story to you. This is also a death of community, actually, transforming. Now, I'll give you one example. That's the last, because I'm also getting time now. Now, we had a deity, many of you know that, in coastal Karnataka. It's called Babbarya. Now, Babbarya's father is Sulakalla Murava Byari, is a Muslim. Mother is Fatima is a Muslim. So, Babbarya born to a Muslim couples. He met with an accident in a sea. When he is going in the sea in a boat, he met with an accident, he dies. Then he becomes God. Now, there's a long epic actually, long epic. Sometimes takes the shape of mythology, sometimes it's a folk epic, whatever. It depends whatever the interpretation we give. Now he dies and then he becomes God. Now whoever, the fisherman or somebody else want to go to sea for some work, they have to pray Babbarya. They have to pray Babbarya. Because Babbarya died in the sea. So the belief is, if you pray Babbarya, he will protect you, from the sea. So that's the thing. Now, in 2-3 years back, somebody has published a book. Now, Babbarya, he quoted me also, and he quoted Vivek Rai, he was the president of Fossil also, and Chinnappa Gowda, another folklorist. He quoted all of us and said, these people lied us. Now, Babbarya is not a son of Fatima and Sulakalla Murava Byari. Now, Babbarya is an incarnation of Babruwahana, he wrote. See, this is what I told. The Hindutva is fine as a political power and whatever. See, that is the politics. We don't want to interfere in that. But the whole narration, you see how it changed your folk mythology into. Now, I asked the writer, he is still there in Bombay. I asked him, I heard the incarnation of Rama, Krishna, everything we know. But where is the incarnation for Babruwana? Because Babbarya's name is resembling with the Babruwana, he thought that he can write it. He wrote it, and now the lot of believers say that Babbarya is the incarnation of Babruwana. The whole story has changed. This is also a death of epics. It's also a death of communities. Now, Hindus doesn't believe a Muslim god, Babbarya, Muslim god. Now, Muslim culture as such cannot create a god like Babbarya, because that's not coming under their philosophy also. But the area called Tulunahad has created such a story. That's the beauty of India. That's the beauty of India. It's neither a Muslim, it's nor a Hindu, but a god to protect you in the sea. That's it. That's it. So these type of the narrations are changing. Anyhow, but mythology, the movement of mythology has to be studied seriously. That create a wonderful India, where the mythology from the lower strata of the society has moved to the upper society, and sometime from the upper side it moves to the upper and lower. I am very consciously using the word because I don't have any other word to present you. The movement is wonderful. Movement is wonderful, and it happened throughout the history of India actually. When Vyasa wrote Mahabharata, the scholars from Mahabharata knows it. Honorable Vice Chancellor is a better person to shed more light on that. I'm very much aware of that. But when Suktankar Sahab was asked to edit Mahabharata, he was able to collect 1,128 texts. It's all deposited in Bori, Bandarkar's Oriental Research Institute, Pune. 1,120, because it's a retelling, re-adopting, and some text has 1 lakh slokas, some text has 1 lakh 20 slokas, some 80,000 slokas, because those who make copies, they just don't Xerox it actually. They add or delete something. It's a type of, retelling and this happened throughout India, and some of the characters transformed into deity. For example, Tamil people knows better than me. Now, Draupadi is a character in Mahabharata, and it's a character in Yakshagana also. We don't have any problem with the Draupadi, but in Tamil Nadu, Draupadi Amman, she's a goddess. So it is not, you see, when the character has transformed into a goddess in Tamil Nadu. Now, if you see Tirupati, Kaurava asks Dushasana to disrobe Draupadi. But the actor who is enacting Dushasana has went to Draupadi Amman temple in the morning. He prayed and he said that, Amma, I am going to perform Dushasana today. Please, bless me. He said that. He done that. And he put kumkuma on his, everything has done. Now on the stage, Kaurava is asking to disrobe the same goddess. What a conflict the theatre has created. Now what I saw one Tirupati in Madurai, he just bow down and he touches the feet of Draupadi on the stage. And he says, Amma, I know you are a goddess. You can kill, you can curse, you can destroy the whole world. I should not touch your body. I should not touch your sari. But what to do? I am doing a Tirukattu and I have to do this. And if I pull your sari, please excuse me. So he touches his feet and he says that, he comes and then he disrobe. If Vyasa sees it, he will commit suicide, sir. If Vyasa sees this in Tamil Nadu, go to Madurai and sees this, he will commit suicide. What is it? I have written such a wonderful character, but these people have converted whole thing into. This is the beauty of India, sir. This is how epic survived. This is how mythology transformed. This is a beautiful India, like a Rangoli. I saw the beautiful Rangoli when I come here. I was remembering India's multiple language and multiple culture. More color, more beautiful India. You make it one color Rangoli, it's not beautiful.
Thank you, Purushottam Garu. Now I would like the President of Fossils, Professor H.C. Boralingaya Garu, former Vice Chancellor, Kannada University, Hampi.
Respected dignitaries on the stage and all distinguished guests, scholars, researchers and students. Today is indeed a joyful day for me, a day to be cherished. I am deeply grateful to all the office bearers of the prestigious Fossils organization for honoring me by electing me as the president for this year. Especially I would like to remember the director of the Institute of Indian Folklore, Dr. Bhaktavatsal Reddy, and my long-lasting friends of Fossils, Dr. M.N. Venkatesh, Dr. Raghavan Payanad, and Nazimuddin is not here today, and Dr. Krishnization, in its long journey of 36 years, has carried out numerous significant contributions. It has played a vital role in the introducing and expanding the rich folklore of Dravidian languages to the world. By emphasizing research and analysis, it has opened scientific methods of study. Despite the differences in languages, Fossils has facilitated harmony and brotherhood among Dravidian languages by exploring common cultural aspirations. A remarkable achievement of Fossils is that it has given a dignified identity to the folklore which had long been neglected and disrespected by mainstream people. I offer my sincere respects and congratulations to both of the past and present office bearers of these dedicated efforts. Along with the growth, Fossils has consistently conducted meaningful annual conferences. This is the 31st annual conference, not merely a gathering, but a platform enriched by national seminars reflecting contemporary thoughts. This brings all of us who love folklore together, enabling us to exchange our research and ideas, thereby updating ourselves in this process. I express my gratitude to National Sanskrit University in Tirupati and its respected Vice Chancellor Ji, and also to Telugu department led by Dr. Nallana for hosting this highly relevant conference and national seminar. It is my duty to give my respectful thanks to Central Institute of Indian Languages at Mysore for its sponsorship. I have observed that under the guidance of senior scholars like Professor Lurdu, Professor Bhaktavatsal Reddy and Professor Raghavan Painal, along with the collaboration of Ford Foundation and other organizations and universities, fossils has been consistently conducted research, seminars, workshops, and publications, expanding our collective knowledge. For this, I once again extend my congratulations to all. Actually, I wrote about 16 pages article, but I submitted to Bhaktavatsal Reddy. It may printed. I don't know what happens, but by selected paras, I can going to read here because there is no time. I am one who has been working in the field of folklore, tribal studies and literature in Karnataka. Over the past 45 years, I have continuously traveled across the rural regions of Karnataka and the tribal settlements of the Western Ghats. It is preciously because of this extensive fieldwork and the travel experience that it became possible to publish the Encyclopedia of Tribals of Karnataka and the Encyclopedia of Folk Arts of Karnataka. I have also been deeply involved in the collection and study of Karnataka folk epics. Most of my research books has been published in Kannada University. Based on this experience, I wish to share a few thoughts on this occasion. One is to need for Desi theories. There is a meaning in calling India a subcontinent. It is not merely one country, but a region that encompasses many cultural and social nations. These contain numerous diversities and unique traditions, which are now often referred to as subcultures. However, even the concept of subcultures is not entirely accurate. Let me give two examples. Desi ideology has always supported the plurality of vibrant diversity of cultures. In such situations, when a culture becomes aware of its internal plurality, it begins to explore its indigenous elements. For example, one approach is to defend the internal layers of regional cultures against what is broadly labeled as Indian culture. When one layer of cultural tradition assumes dominance, other layers tend to lose recognition. In such cases, Desi ideology defends the suppressed layers of the culture against the dominant culture. As an unexpressed undercurrent of Indian tradition, Desi represents the alternative culture stream that has enriched Indian languages and culture like hidden water beneath the earth. Several studies have confirmed that the entire South Indian region originally belonged to the matrimonial family system. The hundreds of village goddesses present in every village bear witness to this. This means that the woman was the head of the household. However, over time, this value system deteriorated, giving rise to the male-dominated society. In justification of this shift, numerous folk narrative poems emerged, proclaiming that a woman may live like a slave in the husband's house. It is essential to note that most of these stories originate from the Bailsime, that plain region. The idea of a woman submitting to her husband and in-laws became a universal value. For example, for famous Kannada ballad, one of the famous Kannada ballad, tells the story of Bhagirathi, a daughter-in-law. Her father-in-law constructs a lake for the well-being of his village, but the lake remains dry. When he consults the astrologer, it is revealed that the sacrificing Bhagirathi to the lake will fill it with the water. Preparations are made to offer Bhagirathi as a sacrifice.
She visits her parents, siblings, and friends to share her sorrow. However, they all advise her to sacrificing herself for her husband's family and the prosperity of the village is the deal path. Reinforcing the belief that it should be this way, with no alternative, Bhagirathi sacrifices herself. Many such folk narratives, poems can be found in Karnataka folklore. In contrast, tribal societies offer counter narratives. For example, the Malamadeshwara epic, I think this is the very famous epic in Kannada, of the Soliga tribal community, presents a different perspective. The central female figure of this epic is Sankamma, a beautiful woman married to Neelaya from another Soliga clan. Even after 12 years of marriage, they remain childless. As per community rules, Neelaya must leave for a 9-month hunting expedition. However, he is suspicious of leaving his wife alone. Fearing the might fall in love with another man, he asks Sankamma to promise that she will not desire anyone else in his absence. Proud and self-respecting Sankamma refuses to give such a promise and decides to abandon the relationship altogether. Enraged, Neelaya uses sorcery to imprison her before leaving for the expedition. At this point, the realistic narrative transforms into mythology. Despite her captivity, Sankamma yearns for a child. Knowing her husband cannot fulfill her wish, for her, the desire for motherhood outweighs martial fidelity. She prays to Male Madeshwara, the community's cultural deity. Madeshwara riding a tiger, sees her distress and offer. Skilled in sorcery, Madeshwara neutralizes Neelaya's magic and grants Sankamma the boon of motherhood. There are reasons why I narrated the two stories above. The story of Bhagirathi, which is prevalent in the Bayelunadu, that is a plain region, and involves offering sacrifices to the lake, as many similar stories among us. By compiling such numerous texts, we can create an archetype. Exploring one such archetype can give us satisfaction, but it does not allow us to examine the values of the matriarchal society that existed at its core. At best, it can reveal the universal social values present today. However, stories of indigenous women like Sankamma and their dialogic variations are rarely found. Even a single text is considered sufficient. These stories appears as regional submodels. Such models help us investigate the social value or history of the past. Many folk legends of Karnataka's local cultural heroes, possess this quality. Considering such subtle aspects of the folklore, there is a need to develop indigenous theories of our own. If possible, these theories may vary across languages, communities, and geographic regions. That would be the true essence of the folk studies. And second one is folk epics and community history. Discussions on the nature of poetry have been ongoing for a long time. The ancient Indian literary theorists and Indian poetic analysts who deliberated on the objectives of the characters of Indian poetry have primarily used only elite poetry as their example and reference. According to my understanding, elite should not merely be understood as written forms. Rather, it represents the collection of all accepted values within the traditional framework established by those who know the script. Throughout India's long history, elite community groups and their orthodox thinkers have consistently followed their own superior and one-sided path, believing this word to the final. For them, that was the that was the highway, while all other paths were mere byways. They refused to acknowledge the existence of alternative or parallel trajectories. They believed that the culture of the class promoting established values was the only true culture, while everything else was seen an offshoot shaped by its influence. The idea that there is one culture for the entire India might have led to this narrow perspective. However, when we observe the country's diverse languages, peoples, customs, cultural phenomena, values, and worldviews, it becomes evident for false this restricted notion is. But why did this realization come to us so late? Perhaps because there was a widespread belief that only the Ramayana and Mahabharata were the true epics of India. It was also strongly believed that these two great epics alone represented the entire culture of the Indian subcontinent. Though many communities across India, many tribal communities across India, sung their own versions of the Ramayana and Mahabharata, they were not accepted because they are contradicted the established values of the elite poetry. The notion that only the nation that only those who knew script could create such intricate works, given the complexity of an epic's numerous events, also contributed to this neglect. The two plain Indian epics that floated through tradition centered on enmities among the ruling classes, love affairs, and imperial expansions. In contrast, we have long oral narratives representing local cultural heroes, miracle men, ascetics, and saints. These stories highlight their lives' unique aspects, such as alcohol, meat, sexual practices, and the dominance of the female-centered Dravidian values, elements often rejected by elite traditions. These stories possess the power of the narrate the history of our ancient culture more accurately than the royal chronicles that have long claimed to be our glorious history. These stories challenge the eyes of most of our historians who have been glorifying the history of ruling classes. They awaken the possibility of documenting the history of common people. Unlike elite myths, folk epics convey their own values, worldviews, and the unique consciousness of the particular region. In Kannada, the heroes of these stories, whether they are Madappa, a so-called Madiga, a Dalit caste, Manteswami, a Holeya, another Dalit caste, and Junjappa, an orphaned cowherd, or Mailarlinga, a shepherd, establish connections between forest and village life. They tame wild animals through affection, not through hunting. They protect their communities from the oppressions of the rulers, not by governing them. They subdue the wicked through compassion, not by violence. The uniform Indian values promoted by elite poetry may not be found in folk epics. However, these epics must be seen as creative expressions of the linguistic community uniqueness, both physical and internal, within the particular cultural region. Therefore, viewing these representative epics from cultural, social, and political perspectives becomes essential. Another key aspect of the folk epics is the dissolution of the human arrogance, the restoration of humanity, reverence for nature, and the equal portrayal of the animals and birds as the characters alongside humans. They emphasize the existence of the transcendent power and instill the understanding that truth ultimately trembles. Thus, folk epics, formed as part of community life, document unwritten histories and social narratives. They help us reshape the history of the common people and complete the half-truth of Indian history that has long glorified the ruling classes. The last part indigenous knowledge system and our priority to environmental conservation. The forests of Western Ghats symbolizes the region's distinctiveness. The evergreen forests, dense and impenetrable, do not allow even sunlight to the pierce through. The shallow forest signifying enhance the region's beauty, while the shrubs and herbs provide shelter to innumerable forms of organic life. The indigenous tribal groups of the region are known for their unique lifestyles, which they have preserved to this day. These communities uphold highly ideal values even in unreserved forests. If compelled to cut down a piece of tree, they first worship it before felling it. Living like infants in the cradle of the nature, they found contentment in honey, roots, tubers, and fruits provided by the forest. They crafted articles from the bamboo, creepers, cane, and other materials, selling them at nearby markets to obtain essential items. This minimal trade was their only connection to the outside world, otherwise remaining self-sufficient. The British Empire disrupted this harmony by converting tribes into the wage laborers through the establishment of coffee, tea, and spice platforms, curbing their previously enjoyed freedom. Subsequently, the native government evicted them repeatedly for developmental projects. Tragically, instead of recognizing their traditional knowledge, these communities were driven out of their ancestral abodes. Those who once lived in the lap of Mother Nature, far from urban crowds, now face the threat of eviction from their forest homes. Despite living in the forests for centuries, they are now being displaced. It is discouraging to note that little efforts has been made to document their folklore, thoughts, and way of life. This unexplored area remains fertile for academic study. Priority must be given to field surveys, research, and documentation for these communities along with the Western Ghats. I urge fossils also may consider these areas as its prominent and need to study of the day. Songs, stories, and poems from indigenous communities foretell the dangers that lie ahead if we fail to protect nature. Their wisdom of nurturing plants and trees, preserving seeds, conserving soil, and their spiritual belief that animals and birds are equal companions without human superiority are deeply embedded in their traditions. Their knowledge of food science is particularly vital in today's world. By prioritizing the study of such knowledge systems, we can find remedies for many of modernity distortions. I urge folk scholars and cultivate inclusiveness by not only documenting their traditions, but also by responding to the social and economic struggles faced by these communities. These are my personal thoughts, and thanks for giving an opportunity to share this with you. Once again, heartful thanks to everyone. Thank you.
I am extremely sorry, because it is the usual practice of fossils to publish the presidential address in a book form. I have sent both the papers, both the president and as well as a keynote paper. And in the keynote paper, there was some problem because of the format. But in president paper, no problem. Both of them, they have given well in advance. Yesterday only I received the copy. But now, after seeing it, there are two wrappers, but the same text is printed. I am extremely sorry for that. I take responsibility for that. I am sorry, sir.
Thank you, Borlingaya garu. Now I would like the guest of honor, Professor Rama Suryanarayana garu, President Awardee, former Professor of Sahitya, National Sanskrit University, to address the gathering.
कणत्काञ्चीदामा करिकलभकुम्भस्तनुनता परिक्षीणा मध्ये परिणतशरच्चन्द्रवदना धनुर्बाणान् पाशं शृणुमपि दधाना करतलैः पुरस्तादास्तान्नः परमथितुराहुः पुरुषिका दृशाद्राघेयस्या दरदलितनीलोत्पलरुचा दवीयांसं दीनं स्नपय कृपया मामपि शिवे अनेनायं धन्यो भवति न च ते हानिर्यत वने वा हर्म्ये वा समकरणिपातो हिमकर वहन्ति सिन्दूरं प्रबलकबरीभारतिमिरत्विषां वृन्दैर्बन्दीकृतमिव नवीनार्ककिरणं तनोतु क्षेमन्नस्तव वदनसौन्दर्यलहरी परिवाहस्रोतस्सरणिरिव सीमन्तसरणिः సభకు నమస్కారం. సాధారణంగా ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ సభ జరిగిన చాలామంది యొక్క ముఖారవిందాలు చాలా సుపరిచితాలుగానే ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఈనాడు జరిగే ఈ సభలో ఉండేటువంటి విద్వద్వరేణ్యుల యొక్క ముఖారవిందాలలో 1-2 తప్ప మిగిలిన వారందరి యొక్క ముఖారవిందములు నాకు అదృష్టపూర్వములే. నేను ఇంతకు ముందర ఎప్పుడు చూసి ఉండలేదు. ఇది ఒక భాగ్యంగా, ఇలా చూడడం అనేది ఒక భాగ్యంగా భావిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. పైగా ఈవేళ ప్రపంచ మహిళా దినోత్సవము అన్నారు. కొంతమంది మా చెల్లెళ్ళ వయసులో వాళ్ళు, మరికొద్దిమంది మా అమ్మాయిల వయసులో వాళ్ళు, మరికొద్దిమంది మా మనవరాళ్ల వయసులో వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు ఈ సభలోను. అందరినీ, మహిళామణులందరినీ కూడా అభినందిస్తూ అభివందిస్తూ నేను 2 మాటలు చెప్తాను. ఈ వేదిక మీద ఉన్నటువంటి వ్యక్తులందరికీ కూడా ఒక్కొక్కరికి పేరు పేరున నమస్కారం చేస్తూ, అలాగే మా ప్రియమైనటువంటి వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ జేఎస్ఆర్ కృష్ణమూర్తి గారికి ప్రత్యేకంగా ఆశీర్వభినందనాలు అందిస్తూ ఉన్నాను. ఆయన కొంతవరకు అంతర్ముఖుడైన వ్యక్తి, అంటే ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా మనోగుహలోకి, హృదయ గుహలోకి దూరిపోయే వ్యక్తే తప్ప బహిర్భూతులై తన యొక్క కీర్తిని ప్రకటించుకుందాం, సంపాదిద్దాం అనేటువంటి ధోరణి ఉన్న వ్యక్తి కాదు. చాలామందికి తెలియని విషయం ఏమిటంటే, ఒక 3000 శ్లోకాలకి పైగా ఉన్నటువంటి ఈ శ్లోకములతో కూడిన వానకి అనే ఒక గ్రంథాన్ని ఆయన రాశారు. పెద్ద కావ్యం, 3000 శ్లోకాలు. అవేమి ఆ శ్లోకాలు కూడా అనుష్టుప్పుల్లాంటి బుడత శ్లోకాలు కాదు, చాలా సుదీర్ఘమైనటువంటి శార్దూలములు అయిన శ్లోకములు. అందువల్ల అలాగే మిగిలినటువంటి మహనీయుల్లో కూడా చాలామంది కవులు ఉంటారు, విమర్శకులు ఉంటారు, పరిశోధకులు ఉంటారు. అందరికీ కూడా వారితో పాటుగా నమస్కరిస్తూ 2 మాటలు చెప్తాను. ఏమంటే, ఆయన వేటూరి సుందరరామూర్తి గారు ఒక మాట అన్నాడు. ఏమంటే, తెలుగు పదానికి జన్మదినం, తెలుగు పదానికి జన్మదినం, ఇది జానపదానికి జ్ఞానపథం, అన్నమయ్య జననం, ఇది అన్నమయ్య జననం అన్నాడు. ఇది జానపదానికి జన్మపథం అన్నాడు, ఇది తెలుగు పదానికి జన్మదినం అన్నాడు. ఎంత అందమైనటువంటి మాటలు మాట్లాడాడు. ఇప్పుడు ప్రాయశః అస్మాకం మధ్యే ప్రతిశతం 99 సంఖ్యాకాः జనాः శిష్ట సాహిత్య ప్రియాः భవంతి. మేమందరము కూడా శిష్ట సాహిత్యము అంటే, ఇంకొక మాట చెప్పాలి, చెప్పేసి నేను చాలా తక్కువే, ఇదేదో కాగితాలు పట్టుకొచ్చాను కదా, నువ్వు అరగంట సేపు మిమ్మల్ని పీడిస్తానని అనుకోవద్దు, చాలా తక్కువ సమయంలో నేను ముగిస్తాను. కానీ ఈ మైథాలజీ అన్న పదం ఉందే, అది చూస్తే చాలా మనసుకు కష్టంగా ఉంటుంది. ఎందువల్లంటే ఇది మిత్ అనే పదం నుంచి కదా ఉద్భవించింది. మిత్ అంటే మిథ్యే కదా. కాబట్టి వీళ్ళకి ఈ మైథాలజీ అనే పదంతో రామాయణాన్ని మిథ్య అంటారు, భారతాన్ని మిథ్య అంటారు, ఈ సమస్తము హైందవమైన భారతీయమైన ఏ నాగరికత ఉన్నదో ఆ నాగరికత సమస్తము మైథాలజీ అంటారు. ఇది సాంప్రదాయకుల యొక్క గుండెల మీద వేసేటువంటి బండరాయి. కాబట్టి ఈ విషయాన్ని గురించి ఆలోచించుకోవాలి. భారతీయ సంస్కృతి అంటే ఇష్టం ఉన్నవాళ్ళు. సరే, శిష్టజనానాం ఆచార వ్యవహారాదికం జానంతి ఆచరంతి చ. యద్యపి జానపద సాహిత్యం ఆచార వ్యవహారాణాంచ సత్తాం జానంతి తథాపి తత్ప్రియాః తదనుష్ఠానపరాశ్చ న భవంతి. ఏ శిష్ట సాహిత్యం జానంతి తే శిష్టానాం ఆచార వ్యవహారాన్ జానంతి ఆచార వ్యవహారేషు ప్రీతిమంతః అపి భవంతి. పరంతు తే ఏ శిష్ట సాహిత్యే ప్రేమ వర్తతే యషాం తే జానపద సాహిత్యం న జానంతి. ఏవంచ జానపదానాం ఏ ఆచార వ్యవహారాः వర్తంతే తత్రాపి ప్రేమ వస్తుతః న భవతి. యద్యపి తాన్ తే జానంతి. వాళ్ళకి తెలుసు జానపదుల యొక్క ఆచార వ్యవహారములు తెలుసుంటాయి, కానీ జానపదుల యొక్క ఆచార వ్యవహారం మీద ఏదో ప్రేమ ఉండడము, వాటిని తవ్వి నెత్తి మీద ఎత్తుకోవడము అనేటువంటిది శిష్ట సాహిత్య ప్రియులకి సాధారణంగా కనపడదు. కానీ ప్రత్యతి జానపద సాహిత్యం సాహిత్యత్వేన నాంగీకుర్వంతి. జానపద సాహిత్యాన్ని సాహిత్యంగా అంగీకరించిన సందర్భాలు లేవు ఇంతవరకు. కానీ ఏమవుతోంది అంటే తత్కారణాదేవ జానపద సాహిత్యే తేషాం అనాదరభావోపి స్థితిమాన్ భవతి. అతయేవ తద్దిశా పరిశోధనాన్ని అన్వేషణాన్ని తన రక్షణ అవధానంచ అసప్రాయాన్ని భవంతి. అందువల్లే శిష్టులైనటువంటి వాడికి ఆ విషయాల్లో పెద్దగా ఆదరణ లేకపోవడం చేత ఆ విషయంలో పరిశోధనలు కానీ లేకపోతే ఆ రకమైనటువంటి సాహిత్యాన్ని సంరక్షించేటువంటి అభిప్రాయాలు కానీ తక్కువగా ఉన్నట్టు కనపడుతుంది. యదా ప్రభృతి వ్యావహారిక భాషాపి గ్రాంథిక భాషా సమస్కంధతయా ఆద్రీయమాణా భవతి తదా ప్రభృతి జానపద సాహిత్యస్య సాహిత్యత్వేన పరిగణన విపశ్చిత్ ఆదరపాత్రత తత్ర అన్వేషణాది పరిశోధనాన్ని తత్సాహిత్య పరిరక్షణే శ్రద్ధాధికించ బౌఢీభవంతి విరాజంతే. ఒక రోజుల్లో గ్రాంథిక భాషను మాత్రమే పండితులు వాడేవారు. ఎంత మాత్రము శిష్ట వ్యావహారికాన్ని కానీ లేకపోతే వ్యావహారిక భాషను కానీ వాడడం అనేటువంటిది లేదు. ఆ విషయంలో చాలా గిడుగు రామమూర్తి మంత్రులు గారు, కొక్కొండ వెంకటరత్నం మంత్రులు గారు వీళ్ళందరి మధ్య హోరాహోరీ యుద్ధాలే జరిగాయి. సరే, మొత్తానికి వ్యావహారిక భాష ఎప్పుడైతే గ్రాంథిక భాషతో సమస్కంధమైనటువంటి ఆదరాన్ని పొందడం మొదలుపెట్టిందో అప్పటి నుంచి జానపద సాహిత్యం మీద దృష్టి మరలింది. అప్పటి నుంచి మాత్రమే జానపద సాహిత్యాన్ని గురించి, ఎందువల్ల ఈవేళ వ్యావహారిక భాష గ్రాంథిక భాష సమస్కంధంగా ఉన్నది కనుక సర్వమపి సాహిత్యం తజ్జానపదం వా భవతు శిష్టం వా భవతు ప్రకృతిత ఏవ సముత్పన్నం. మీరు జానపదం అనండి లేకపోతే శిష్ట సాహిత్యం అనండి, అంతా కూడా ప్రకృతి నుంచి ఉద్భవించినటువంటి సాహిత్యమే. క్రౌంచద్వందం యది భగవతో వాల్మీకి దృష్టిపథం నాగమిష్యత్ తర్హి రామాయణ మహాకావ్యం నావిరభవిష్యత్. ఆ రోజుని క్రౌంచద్వంద్వము వాల్మీకి మహర్షి యొక్క దృష్టిపథంలో పడి ఉండకపోతే రామాయణము ఆవిర్భవించే ఉండకపోయేది. ఆ క్రౌంచద్వంద్వ వియోగాన్ని ఆయన చూశారు. అప్పటి నుంచి ఆయన హృదయం కరుణరస పరిప్లావితమయ్యి అక్కడి నుంచి రామాయణం ఆవిర్భవించింది. అంతేకాకుండా కోకిలానాం కూజితాని మయూరాణాం నృత్యాని మేఘానాం గర్జితాని విద్యుతాన్ జ్యోతనమిత్యాదికం యది ప్రకృతౌ అస్థితాన్ న ప్రాప్స్యత్ తరి కాళిదాస బహుభూత్యాదయో మహాకవయ నాస్మాన్ నారంజయిష్యాన్. ఒకవేళ కోకిలి కూజితాలే లేక, మేఘాల గర్జితములే లేక, వసంతమాసంలో వృక్షాలు పుష్పించడమే లేకపోతే ఈవేళ కాళిదాస బహుభూతాది మహాకవులు మన యొక్క హృదయాన్ని వాళ్ళ యొక్క కావ్యముల చేత రంజింప చేసి ఉండేవారే కాదు. ఈ విధంగా సమస్తమైనటువంటి సాహిత్యము ప్రకృతితః ఉద్భవించింది సుమా అని చెప్పడం నా ఉద్దేశం. కాబట్టి ఏవం ప్రకృతి దర్శనేణ ప్రాథమిక దశాయాం అనుభూతయః ఆంగిక చేష్టాదయః ప్రాయశః ఆవిర్భవేయుః అనంతర దశాయాం మనుష్యముఖతః ఆనందదుఃఖాద్యభివ్యక్తయః ఆవిర్భూతాః స్యుః. అటుపై నుంచి క్రమక్రమంగా ఈ జానపద సాహిత్యం అనేటువంటిది వాళ్ళ యొక్క ఆనంద ఉత్థితమై అనేక ప్రకృతిని యదా ప్రకృతిం పశ్యంతి తదా తేషాం హృదయేషు దుఃఖం వా భవతి ఆనందో వా భవతి. యదా హృదయే ఆనందः భవతి దుఃఖం వా భవతి తదా తత్ప్రకటనార్థం శరీరేపి వికారాः భవంతి నామ ఆంగికచేష్టాదయः ఆవిర్భవంతి. అనంతరం భాషావిర్భావः భవతి నామ భాషయా తదభివ్యక్తిः భవతి. మొట్టమొదట ఎప్పుడైతే చూస్తారో దుఃఖం కలుగుతుంది, ఒక ఆనందం కలుగుతుంది. ఆనందం వల్ల లేకపోతే ఆ దుఃఖం వల్ల కలిగేటువంటి ఆంగిక చేష్టలు కొన్ని ఉంటాయి. ఆ తర్వాత దాన్ని అభివ్యక్తం చేయడానికి భాషను ఉపయోగించుకుంటారు. ఈ విధంగా మొట్టమొదట ఉద్భవించినటువంటి జానపద సాహిత్యం ఏదైతే ఉందో అక్కడి నుంచి శిష్ట సాహిత్యం ఉద్భవించింది. అంటే జానపద సాహిత్యమే శిష్ట సాహిత్యానికి ప్రాతిపదికము, భూమిక కూడా అయి ఉండే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. ఈ విధంగా సరే, ఇలాగా చెప్పుకుపోతుంటే ఇంకా 2-3 పేజీలన అంతా చదివి వినిపించను. అందులో మీరు ముఖం విషణ్ణములు కావలసిన అవసరమే లేదు. ఏవం జానపద కళారూపాన్ని చెప్పి వివిధాన్ని సంతి. అలాగే జానపద కళారూపాలు కూడా చాలా రకాలుగా ఉంటాయి. జానపద వ్యవహారాశ్చ సంరక్షణీయాన్ని పరిశోధనీయాన్ని భవంతి. ఈనాడు ఇటుపైన వాటి విషయంలో పరిశోధనలు జరగాలి. ఇంతవరకు ఈ యూనివర్సిటీలో అటువంటి సందర్భం లేదు. మా నల్లన్న గారి యొక్క చొరవ చేత, అలాగే వీసీ గారి యొక్క అనుగ్రహ విశేషం చేత ఈనాడు ఇక్కడ ఈ సభ ఆయోజితమైంది. నిజానికి సంస్కృతంలో నేను అనుకోవడము జానపద సాహిత్యం అంటూ ప్రత్యేకంగా చాలా తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. వేళ్ల మీద లెక్క పెట్టదగినట్టుగా ఉంటుంది తప్ప తెలుగులో ఉంటుంది జానపద సాహిత్యము. సంస్కృతం ఎందువల్ల సంస్కృతం పూర్తిగా ఎప్పుడూ సంస్కృతమే, అది అసంస్కృతమైనటువంటి మాటలు ఒకటి ఉండే అవకాశం లేదు. ఈ విధంగా ఇలా ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ జానపద రూపాలు, ఆచార వ్యవహారాన్ని కూడా పోగు చేసి ఒక చోట అట్టేబెట్టి వాటిని సంరక్షించవలసినటువంటి బాధ్యత ఉన్నది. ఇత్యుక్తాహం విరమామి విస్తరాత్. అముం అవకాశం కల్పితవద్భ్య సర్వేభ్య ధన్యవాదాన్ని వితరామి. ప్రణామः. విశ్వనాథ్ కిన్నెరసాని పాటలు కానీ, నండూరి వారి వెంకి పాటలు కానీ, రామాలాలి మేఘశ్యామాలాలి కానీ, శివుడు తాండవము చేయుచు నిత్యము మొదలైనటువంటి పాటలు ఉన్నాయి. ఈ జానపద సాహిత్యం ఇదంతా కూడా ఏతాని సర్వాణి ఆంధ్ర సాహిత్యం పరిపోషయంతి. ఇవన్నీ కూడా శిష్ట సాహిత్యము ఏ విధంగా అయితే ఆద్రీమాణం అవుతుందో ఆ విధంగానే ఈ పాటలు కూడా, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఈ సాహిత్యాన్ని చాలా పరిపుష్టం చేస్తున్నాయి. ఇంకొక మాట ఏమిటి అంటే, అదేం తమాషాయో కానీ లవకుశుల యుద్ధం అనేటువంటిది నిజంగా వాల్మీకి రామాయణంలో మనకేమీ కనపడదు. రామాయణంలో ఏమీ లేదు లవకుశుల యుద్ధం. అలాగే లక్ష్మణదేవర నవ్వు అంటారు, అది కూడా రామాయణంలో ఎక్కడ మనకి దర్శనం ఇవ్వదు. అలాగే ఊర్మిళ నిద్ర అంటారు, అది కూడా మనకి. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారు అంటే, ఈ జానపదులు వాళ్ళ యొక్క ప్రతిభా విశేషం చేత కొన్ని కల్పనలు కూడా వాళ్ళు చేసేట్టే పెట్టారు. ఆఖరికి ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఈ కల్పనలు చూశాక మనకి డౌట్ వస్తుంది, ఒకవేళ రామాయణంలో ఎక్కడైనా దీనికి సూచన ఉందా అని దాన్ని వెతకడం కోసం ప్రయత్నం చేయడం కూడా ఉంటుంది. ఈ విధంగా జానపదుల యొక్క ప్రతిభా విశేషాన్ని అభివ్యక్తం చేసేటువంటి జానపద సాహిత్యము, ఆచార వ్యవహారాలు రక్షించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉన్నాయి. ఎదురుకుండా ఉన్నటువంటి మహనీయులు ఎంతోమంది విద్వద్వరేణ్యులు ఉన్నారు. అందరికీ మరొక మాట నమస్కారం చేస్తూ, ఈ అవకాశాన్ని కల్పించినటువంటి వీసీ గారికి, మరి మా ప్రియమిత్రుడైనటువంటి నల్లన్న గారికి, ఆయన పచ్చగా ఉన్నాడు కానీ నల్లన్న అంటాం అనుకోండి, నల్లన్న గారికి అందరికీ మరొక మాట నమస్కారం చేస్తూ, ప్రతి వ్యక్తి పేరున ఈ సభా సంచాలనం చేసినటువంటి నల్లనివాడు పద్మనయనంబరవాడు అని చెప్పి అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు చేస్తూ విరమా.
Thank you, Surya Narayana Garu. To give a keynote presentation, I would like to Professor Raghavan Payanad, former Professor of Folklore, Calicut University, Calicut, onto the dais, please. Thank you.
Respected Chairperson and our Vice Chancellor, Nandyar Krishnamurthy, and respected scholars and dear friends. Time is 1 o'clock. Now, for various, and not only that, for various reasons, I cut short this keynote address. I am not going to read the whole thing, that it is a long one. I think it is nearly 24 pages. So, whatever I wanted to say, mainly I am going to talk about the ideology of folklore and folklore studies. I want to give the emphasis on that. Why do you want to study folklore? And why, actually you may guess what actually I mean, why folklore substituted by intangible cultural heritage. Even though we like it or not, folklore is no more. Officially. Officially means it is decided by the authority, international authority. Now I invite your attention to, from Indian scenario to the international scenario, what folklore is becoming, or what all have been, what all changes have been done in the, by the scholars. Not only the scholars, what happened to, according to the what all happens in the socio-cultural and political happenings all over the world. As you know, what is happening in this all over the world, because folklore in 2004, UNESCO decided that you don't utter the word folklore hereafter. Instead of that, you had to move towards cultural, intangible cultural heritage. The General Assembly of UNESCO decided like that. Still, we people are assembled here and talking about folklore. You know this, what you call this embarrassing situation. No more you don't get any funding from any agency, national or international agency, for folklore. I know sometimes people may, without knowing the politics behind this, people may give some assistance to somewhere. I don't know. Actually, but the key idea or key subject matter of this paper is that one. No, I don't know, it's an anomaly that we have a specific area of this one, mythology and tribal mythology and tribal folklore we have as a subject matter to discuss in this major subject to discuss in this seminar. I am interested in mythology, and my PhD also was related to mythology, but I don't want to talk on mythology in this conference because I feel more serious matter to be discussed in this such a scenario. No, there is no other. I think no other association in India is working now in folklore as we does. I am little bit embarrassed and little bit, I feel not at home in this conference or in this, when I stand before you, because this is the first time that I put the gown of an invitee. Otherwise, all these years, nearly 28 years, I had been as an organizer, doing everything and behind all the curtain. Now I am an invitee. That may make me, that's why you may notice that somebody asked me, why you are gloomy like this? That is one of the reasons for that. Anyway, academically, all these years, when the first time I had been in Mysore University for 5 years. And at that time onwards, the main thing attracted me, the ideology of folklore. That was the main thing, not this whatever people used to talk. I think, and for several times I criticized the people that why you are going for this. It may not be there. Folklore may not be there hereafter. No, the folklore that we used to say that it is folklore, that is not the folklore that we discussed or met with in the midst of the people. Now it is something else. So internationally, why they decided? That is a question I wanted to answer. My own answer. I don't know how many people of you agree with me. I don't care, because in this such matter, sometimes we should be alone. Because three disciplines, no? One is the classical subject discipline, history, and recent subject, there's cultural heritage, especially intangible cultural heritage, and there is another discipline. No, I don't call as discipline, because it so far it couldn't get the status of the discipline because of we people, how we managed to deal with this subject. So these three subjects, where do you locate folklore? Not only that, in the whole academic arena, all over the world, where do you locate folklore? That is the main problem that we are facing now. Why do you want to learn folklore? Why do you want to teach folklore? That's now in universities, in Western University, so many departments closed. In our own nation, the Department of Jargon, the Department of Folklore is merged with, renamed as folklore, it's a tribal studies or something. And that is going to happen to all departments all over India. I think it may take a few years, that's all. Why? You have to answer that question. Why folklore came into the arena of this academic arena, and why that is disappearing from the academic arena? We have to answer the question. What we people are very serious on folklore, and it is not mere songs to sing. It is not mere dance, kunida. Yes. I remember one thing, when I came long back, I think 25 years back to this Telugu University, and people were, on those days, this folklore means singing and dancing. Scholars coming and singing and dancing for nearly hours, they don't stop. Then I was angry with them, and I told them it is not folklore, because I know folklore, because I studied folklore as a discipline. So, why? So we have, I can come to, I am not going to read this one. Whatever I want to say orally, I discuss. So we have these three disciplines. History. These three disciplines are in relation, various way. Anyway, it is a remnant of the past. Folklore is a remnant of the past, but it is a living tradition. And history, as you know, that is something, the attitude towards that past, that makes these disciplines different. So, all are related to the past, heritage. Heritage also is past. But how it differs? That difference is that how do you look at it? In the history, people look from past to present. Their voyage is like that. From the initial, from where it originated, from the evolution of that, and up to this time and place and time, what it is, and in history, what it had been. That is our search in history. In folklore, that it is a living tradition. People are living with that, part and parcel of that. their ideology, their philosophy, their everything is, they put everything inside that, and we used to, while doing all these things, knowingly or unknowingly, we are becoming part and parcel of the past. That is folklore. But this cultural heritage, that look from present to past. If you have a tradition, a remnant of the past in the present, then from the present we look into the deep and in the past, and from present to past, that is the way the way the academicians used to evaluate these facts. So now this international agency, UNESCO, that is this part and parcel of UNO, and so many system concerns in that under that umbrella. And why they are interested to define folklore? That's a question. They never defined any other subject. They defined particularly folklore in 1989, and after that 2001 they come with this definition for cultural heritage in general, and in particular intangible cultural heritage. Why? You have to find out a reason for that. UNESCO, it is not a mere joke. It is a serious institution that decides the destiny of the world. That institution says that folklore hereafter, folklore is not needed. Folklore is not needed means folklore, they use the word that we had to, it is an institutional term. That is the word they used in that report that passed by the UNESCO in 2004. Why? This is the question before us. So they are after this intangible cultural heritage. Why? So whatever fossils, I don't know. Now we had been for the last so many years we have been working in that association, and we were trying to we have an idea to the American Folklore Society for publication. After 4 months, I got a reply that it is not accepted by the committee because the main reason is that it won't appreciate the satisfaction of our readers. That was the reason. This paper. That is why I wanted to, at least I wanted to communicate with you people this paper. Yeah, the reason is very, very flimsy, no? What is the academic value of that? How many, it consumed so much of time to read and write and search in the internet. If you go into that, from 1950 to 2006, what all meeting? What are the meetings held by the UNESCO and WTO and other agencies? And I have gone through that, and with the support of that data, I wrote this paper. So what made them to think about this? The history of folklore in India, how that discipline has come. That also by the decision of the UNESCO. After 1989, report of the UNESCO, they advised the member countries to assist third world or this other area, the people to assist the other people to work on folklore. That is why so many departments in India came in and established, that is Calicut University department and Mysore University. Before that it itself, Mysore University has come because I think in 1975 itself it has come. 74, yeah, it has come. It had come. So it was instrumental. That Ford Foundation was instrumental, and Smithsonian Institute was instrumental because of the advice of this report. This report says that you have to assist the third world countries. Why? And the same agencies say that you have to stop it. Move towards cultural intangible cultural heritage. That is why I was talking about this in the initial, these three disciplines: history, cultural heritage, and folklore. Folklore is always interested in living tradition, because people are behind that. Not behind that. People are, they are the folk, and they are part and parcel of folklore. So we are dealing with the human being having feelings and other things, their feelings always expressed through this. That is why they know it is very new. When you read this, you can see that how many terminology has come within this period, 1950 to 2006, by UNESCO. TT, TK, FE, so many things, Why? This is the actual problem that I have to discuss here. So, in a way, while writing this such a paper, we had to make it in a systematic way. That is why I divided this the whole period into modern period and as well as postmodern period, and what was the academic, not academic also, notice the politics behind that, politics and socio-economic development coming during the period of this modernism. And after modernism, postmodernism, what happened to the other area of academic area, and simultaneously to folklore also. I am not going in detail because it is written here very well. So what happened actually? Why they are so uneasiness, showing uneasiness about folklore, UNESCO. That's not only here. Pennsylvania University, folklore department almost closed. That is the famous university in United States. And when we go to the ideology of the folklore, what happens, you see this difference between pro-American and pro-European thought. That also I discussed in this. Why Americans, why folklore came in? Charles Dawson was telling about folklore. At the same time, European, especially German people, wanted to do all these things. European people wanted to consider what happens to folklore. Whatever happens in folklore is part of folklore and to be studied in that way. That is why they are talking about folklorism, applied folklore, and popular folklore, and so many terminology they created, and they were doing that way. So it is not mere what we are doing. It is ideologically supported. All these are ideologically supported. So academic folklore, let us come to academic folklore during modern period. Since Renaissance. Modern period, usually we consider from Renaissance. Since Renaissance till 1980s. 1980 we used to say that it is modern period. What happened to folklore during this? How people conceived the term folklore? Why did they wanted to create a terminology that is popular antiquities? And after that, they changed that into folklore with hyphen. Folklore with hyphen. Then it became without hyphen. Then third time it became a single term folklore. All these are, not mere joke, no. It is whatever happens outside this folklore also, whatever happens in the socio-economic and political scenario that influence an academic discipline. So folklore is after this modern, whatever happens in modern period. No, the function of folklore, when we look into the function of 4 functions of folklore, of famous, what is his name? Bascom, William Bascom. Yeah, why? That kind of a function for folklore. After that, what happens today? What happened to that function today? You had to compare that one. The same function is not functioning in the academic discipline today. Why? We have to answer that question also, but we are not so interested in those. Still, we are talking about the melody of our folk song. Why that melody? Why people used to sing song? Why now people are not singing songs as before? We have to answer these such questions. Instead of that, still the academicians believe that, no, I am not blaming the academician because I am parcel of that academic community. Still we are doing the same thing, the singing song and say glorious about this glory of our folklore. Anyway, during academic period, what happened, to satisfy the need of that era, we created, or European people created popular antiquities, because the whole world is moving towards industrialization, and after that, this gradual change happens. Not gradual, it's a swiftly moving the society, because everything got changed. In that particular circumstances, what happened to folklore? What is the function of folklore as a data, not as an academic discipline? That confusion is there. We are talking about the same term using for folklore as academic discipline as folklore as data. So that is why when we write articles, we used to do like this, and when we wanted to make a folklore as data, we small letter, and folkloristics, then F capital. Then that is the distinction between these two. So what happened actually during the period of modernism? All other disciplines are in support of this industrialization and the change. At that time, globalization has not come. Actually, we are after that change. What all? This science, then technology, and technology resulted into industry and industrialization, and this all other things happens accordingly. Then it affects folk and folklore. Whatever fact we have, whatever material that we have for this for living, make use of for living, then accordingly folklore also get changed. So new industrial product affected the life of the people all over the world, and it substituted folklore, industrial product. Now, where is folklore now? In our early days, everything is folklore. We took bath as part of folklore. Our bathing system is folklore. Our food system is folklore. And everything is folklore. Now, what happened to that? So, that means gradually folklore is leaving day by day our life. From our life it is going away, withering away. So at that time, it is the ideology propagated by the capitalists during this industrialization. They wanted to substitute, this is the last thing, substitution, this cultural heritage. But instead of that, earlier substitution had come earlier itself. That substitute, each and every consumable things is substituted by industrial consumables, one after another. That happened earlier. And accordingly, our life system also getting changed. Folklore, percentage of folklore in our life is coming down, and now we are almost, what you call, I don't know. Yeah. So this is happening during the period. This period, what was the function of this folklore as a discipline, folklore as a data or material thing, subject matter? On those days, this industrialization and urbanization was so strict, so strong, swift, balancing that. The people, especially in Germany, they wanted to keep, they had a feeling that we are losing our heritage. So somehow we have to keep it that with us. That is why this first published folk tale is Kinder. Yeah, what is the name of that? Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, it's almost aged. Yeah, Grimm Brothers. Yeah, Household Machin. That is the word. Household. That is the first printed folk tale in all over the world. Why? He gave a reason for that, because due to industrialization, the young generation has no means to get these our values, moral values and ethical values. To give them ethical values and moral values, we have to, all these are imbibed in the folklore, especially folk tale, and that is why he wanted to collect folk tale and publish that for school children. That happened. So that in that way, folklore is moving from one area, one media to another. That is happening during modern period. So print media, oral to print, that happens during this period, and everybody is interested in publishing. In our regional language also same thing happened, because we are afraid of that. Somehow we are going to lose our culture, lose our folklore, so we have to keep it in printing or in some other means. That was the reason. That is why this is, these Western people or this international society, academic society knows it very well that during short period of time, folklore won't be there. So before that, we had to catch the fish, throw the net, and catch them, catch the folklore. That is why in 1989, UNESCO decided to safeguard folklore. In that, if you go through that report, in elaborate report, you go through that keenly on the various discussions, then we can make it, we may know that they are interested in, they are afraid of, not afraid of, they are happy with this vanishing of folklore. And before that, we had to somehow collect and keep it in custody. So they poured money like anything to collect folklore all over the world. That is why academic department all over the world, especially third world and not at that time tribal society, only that third world countries, that is these other societies. Later tribal, now everybody is interested. Within 10 to 15 years, how many tribal department and tribal university has come in India? Why? You had to think about that also. Earlier we never thought about that. No folklore university, only one folklore university that is in Mysore, in Karnataka. That the fate of that I know very well, and nobody is interested in that. Yeah. Everybody here also, not only here, so many people, so many tribal universities established by the government. Not only this government, earlier government also, because it's an international. Yeah. Deleted. No, they told that it is an institutional term, and therefore we have to come with another term, that is intangible cultural heritage. That is why now India also getting so much of money from foreign money to collect and keep and study on cultural heritage. That is why so many departments last 10 years, within 10 years, so many departments, not only 10 years, within 15 years, so many departments and centers all over India got departments established all over India. We are very happy. Why? We never asked. In Kerala, we have cultural heritage department in this Malayalam University. We have center in this MG University. All these happened because of the decision, after the decision taken by this UNESCO. So folklore has no much hope. What to do? So let us come to this area, that what happened to modern period. Modern period, they are very very keen on this capitalism. That is it's a word, I think, classical word. I don't want to repeat. Anyway, capitalism wanted to promote industry, and that industry coming with so many products, and when that products moves among the society, consumers, then it is called commodity. And commodification is the aim of the modern society, modernism. Why modernism? Everything is, we can say something good also. We got so many other ideology and so many things, fraternity and so many democracy and so many things out of this modernism. Still, as far as folklore is concerned, as far as culture is concerned, it is something not so desirable. So they know that it should be what all commodities are going to market, it is substituting any of the folk material, folklore. Now nobody go for this. We are after so many toothpaste. We had our own way of. No, I am not for that. No, that is another matter. What happened as an academician? It is our duty to look at this. What is happening in the society? What is the force behind that? That is the duty of an academician. As a folklorist, I wanted to look in the back. What behind the curtain? What is happening? Who is indulging all these things, and what for? So they wanted to substitute the folklore with new commodities and new the consumables. That is what that is happening now. A stage has come. Most of these practices and most of these cultural facts, cultural material, going to lose, vanishing. Then they decided that they had to keep it in custody. Anyway, it is not in the life of the people hereafter. So before losing it, we have to capture it and keep it in custody for harvest season. Everybody knows that when harvest, no, not harvest season, when drought and other thing comes, what to do with that. So folklore hereafter, after some time, folklore won't be not a living tradition in the society. The ultimate goal of always I used to tell about this anthropology because he is so good friend of mine, and so he not get offended. The cultural evolution theory, that was the main reason that go with this capitalism and these things that decided our destiny actually. What is the ultimate aim of humanity? The ultimate aim of humanity to get this civilized. Everybody has to be civilized. What is civilization then, according to anthropology? That is, it is the rate of consumption of industrial product. In one way, not all I am not talking about. So that happens actually. They wanted all these things are without in not functioning, and we are after new products, new way of life. So what to do? Everything, no? The art system, music system, everything is substituted by. How many people are now love this our folk song? How many? Now you get a folk song in other media. That folk song is not as such as that we learned or heard from the field. So that happens now. So everything is substituted by the modern industrial product, and industrialization and capitalism is strong. This is the way. Then after this 1980, along this duration of time, that is since Renaissance to 1980, we call it as a modern period. After that, what happens? No, new theories comes, new way of understanding, new ideology comes to substitute modernism. Whatever happened during modernism, it is substituted by some other things thereafter. The ideology that they promoted with so many new postmodern theories, that is Derrida or so many ideology, Foucault, and so many people know. The crux of the thing is that they wanted to a shift from a civilized society all over the world. You know, when globalization has come, in reality, it is 1990. In India, first time our economic system accept this little bit 1990. Before that itself, during the period of after 1970s, you see structuralism was so strong during modernism because it was a political need. Because during modernism, colonial period, colonial countries and colonized countries wanted to show that they have their own culture. They are proud of that, and they want to show that. That is why Finnish, a small country, Finland became very famous in folklore only because of that. They wanted to show that under the regime of Russia, and they wanted to liberate, and they fond of their culture, and they whatever they have, they brought before the public and say that we are here. That happened during the period of this Independence Day, independence movement all over the world. So colonial countries wanted to have power and unite their own people and say and make them feel that they are one and with they are with so much of cultural heritage. So we are one and the same. No, we have to fight with Germany. You know, Germany is the country where we have get so many archives and museums, you know, because of Hitler. They wanted to show that everything is like that, that it's wherever fascism is there, they wanted to show that this is a cultural heritage, then project that cultural heritage and make people, unite people together. So this also works behind when we talk about this folklore also. That is why this folklore was promoted on those days during the modern period. And postmodern period, and then so many theories came, and whatever promoted during modern period is de-promoted or it is rejected by this one. You know, once upon a time we can talk about this. What's the time now? It is 1:45. Oh, we have to stop it. Yeah, I am going to stop it. Yeah, you can read this. No, within 5 minutes I will stop it. I never see that look into that tourism has come. Why? A new ideology is coming, following, proceeding by this postmodernism, preceded by an ideology, a different ideology that promoted during modernism. And we are the people, folk. I represent both folk and folklore. Folklorist, the people suffered a lot in that, and we were after that also. That is why I do not have much time. Actually, Lori Hongo went for a new theory, that is folklore process, because of the influence of this postmodernism, Derrida. Folklore is not a matter of fact. Folklore is not a data. It is only a process. That is the idea came from the postmodern, this academic, this one. So this happened. And so many theories, that is why structuralism has gone, and in folklore also was influenced by this. And I don't want to go into detail. Within 5 minutes I have to. Anyway, I have to make an emphasis on international this interference. Why? On folklore. Why? Yeah, I gave a long chart that it's 6th September 1952 onwards. That is 15th November 1989. One chart is given how many meetings by the UNESCO, conducted by UNESCO, under the aegis of. Now here also in 2006, one international this workshop, I attended that workshop. Only 2 folklorists attended that workshop. That was in Kochi, and I was amazed that no folklorist, only one. It was an international seminar on folklore, no? Only 2 folklorists. Then I asked them why no folklorists are here. It is not for them. It is to make rule, law, to how to divide this income of this folklore when it is sold out. That is we are here to make law for this dividing system. Who owns folklore? That is that one title of Allenden's this one. Then the question of who owns folklore, and when profit comes, who will share that? We are here for that, not for anything else. So that happens now all over in international level. this folklore is a commodity and it is a raw material, and how to know. That is why so many cases, international court, so many cases registered in the case of this right over folklore. Now once in Swiss company, I think in the beginning they brought this folk artisans and made these toys and paid them. Later this demand is so much, and these people could not produce that much of item. Then they went for this industry. These people were out. Then it came in international court. Then court was by the side, side of this industrialist. So this is happening all over the world. This is a commodity. Folklore becomes now in postmodern period. Folklore becomes a commodity as well as a raw material for the commodity. So what to do? It create money. What to do this money? Who is the owner of that money? How this if there is a sharing, how much share should be divided among these people? So this is the main thing that discussed internationally. That is why most of the meeting conducted by the UNESCO is under the aegis of WTO, World Trade Organization. Why? I was amazed. Here also in India government sponsored sponsored that one meeting in Kochi. That was by industry department, not by cultural department. Folklore workshop. Why? So it is part of industry. Folklore becomes part of industry as a part of commodity. It's a commodity, either a commodity as such, you can sell it and get the money, or you can make it as a raw material. That is why they came with so many terms in this UNESCO meeting. They came with so many terms: traditional technology (TK), traditional knowledge, traditional technology (TT), traditional knowledge (TK), folklore expression. That is the beginning of the change. Folklore is expressed by this UNESCO as folklore expression. There is the difference between material culture as well as this other folklore form. Only folklore belongs folklore expression. Other thing is something else that goes to another academic discipline. No, that is why FE folklore became FE, folklore expression. How much will be given if you take a folklore and it is sold out, or it becomes a raw material to the industry? Then how much percentage has to go to that particular folk or folk? Even then, that problem also is a headache. Folk is it is so immaterial. No, folk. Who is folk? No, it is a song is sung by a particular person. That song is not his own. It is of the society, and he sung. And how much this right he has to get from? How much share he has to get from this when this song is put it in other media and creating money, and how much to be given to this particular person or to be given to the particular person? Then so many problems. I don't want to discuss those things. Anyway, WTO is very interested in this, and they conducted almost all these nearly 30 meetings within these years, And what happened actually, I am going to stop this. Actually what happened in 1989, they gave a report that it is to be safeguarded. Folklore, that is the word, safeguarded. We had to take that, safeguarded. What it means, I don't have much time, so I am not going to that side. After that, that so many other words are there. Yeah, why they for this safeguard the particular word? And after that, 1989, that recommendation that recommendation has come. Then no discussion after that. And in 1999, they met in Italy. Everything is written in this in Italy, and they decided that this is. They never evaluated what happened in this 30 years, no? 89, 20 years, what happened to that report, and what are things materialized by the member countries. They never. They came with a new idea in 1999 that this folklore is an term cannot be continued, because it's an institutional term that they believe that folk is no more, may not be no more, because the whole world is going towards globalization and unification. Then there is no folklore, there is no folk as such. So what to do? So that, if it is when we make use of a particular technical term, it should be forever, but it won't sustain that folk and folklore, because anthropology used to say that it's barbaric. That barbaric society is no more, almost vanished. Then it won't sustain. Then what to do? Then they decided that, this American representative and Britain representatives, they walked out from that meeting, because there the discussion came that it should be aimed at third world countries, not the other countries, not African countries, not the other developing countries. In modern terms, developing countries only. So they are not for that. So they left that meeting, and they decided that to conduct a simultaneous meeting all over the world 3-4 times, and they met, and at last they came with a report that this particular person's name I don't remember. We don't have much time. So they decided that we had to substitute this intangible cultural heritage, because intangible cultural heritage, it is for whom? For what? It is the crux of tourism industry. You know now very well what is going on all over the world. Is tourism is the main area of development. So cultural heritage is the raw material for that particular industry. And part of that intangible cultural heritage, that is called folklore, intangible cultural heritage can be called as folklore. That is folklore expression. That is why they came with this idea little bit earlier itself. That is why they divided all these things into, as I told earlier, that traditional knowledge and traditional material culture and FE, folklore expression. Only expression, other things go in other way. So that is the thing happening all over the world, and now we are at the stage of, if there is no data, a discipline can't sustain. Our data, in the new terminology, an academic industry, any academic industry should sustain only with the help of raw material for that particular industry. For folklore becoming an industry, and in that raw material is folklore data. That data won't be forever. The ultimate aim of globalization is unification, And all people, their aim is that all people all over the world has to consume the same product, not indigenous product. So that is the ultimate aim of globalization. So to help that kind of an ideology, UNESCO came with this decision that folklore is not needed hereafter, because folk won't be there. The globalization today or tomorrow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 1 o'clock. Okay, yeah, I stop. Yeah. Okay, I stop here. Thank you for hearing and questions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Raghavaya garu. I would like Professor G.K. Panikar garu, Director, International School of Dravidian Linguistics, Thiruvananthapuram, to facilitate the gathering.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, distinguished scholars on the dais, off the dais, and representatives from different states, southern states, and also northern states like Punjab, Professor Khaira, and all these people. So, naturally, my duty is only to give some felicitation address, but the address will be in 3 or 4 sentences, I will admit. I am proud to be here since this fossils started in Trivandrum, and I happen to be a colleague of Professor V.A. Subramaniam and also Professor Bhaktavalsal Reddy, and an institution which developed or as one of the most outstanding academic organizations of India. And for that, I am thankful to our Reddy's hard work, not alone Reddy and his colleagues like Raghavan Payanad and so on, other people, I don't, Mahesh Rai and all. But anyway, I'm not going into the details, and this institution, actually, there is relevance as far as these fossils conference is organized at National University, Sanskrit National University, since, as he has pointed out, there is hierarchy, and the Sanskrit epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata and all, they have been infiltrated into the common masses, and so many folk tales, folk arts and folk stories were originated in India, not only in India and also in abroad also. So it is quite apt. It is the first time that it is this, to my knowledge, and a folklore seminar is conducted organized in Sanskrit University, and it is very apt, and for that I especially congratulate the Honorable Vice Chancellor for this. So just I don't want to say more. One thing, Professor Payanad was of course worried about the future of folkloristics. I think no authority, whether it is the government or UNESCO or whatever it may be, you name this way, you stop, you don't give this name, you give another name. People are there not to heed. So it is the common masses, common people will decide. You said, no, don't tell history. Here onwards you say political continuum. Like that, nobody has any power to say that, and nobody is going to heed. As common people, you see, common people will exist everywhere. Even in the coming future also, assemblage of common people also will be there. And if that is the case, they have to express their love, affection, sorrows and all, and for that they create the music or whatever. The patterns may change. The present music system or the present arts may change, but accordingly there may be changes as in languages, there will be changes in the folk arts, folk performances, folk songs and all, and nothing more. So this folklorists for that matter will exist or even centuries and centuries. And even if somebody names, whatever may be the name, the government says there is no problem at all. So with this, I am very optimistic, and there will need not be any fear, and we are not the slaves of any government or any UNESCO, and there is no need for us an association. If it is a governmental university or something, they may have to obey. And if an association like this, there is no need to have any sort of fear to anybody, and they don't want to obey anybody. And so you can courageously continue your efforts, and we will be always supporting you, and my best wishes to this subject, and folkloristics will flourish in future also, and all of us will, with that optimistic view, we stop this. With all best wishes to folklore.
Yeah, I think it is the time to honor our guest. I request Professor J.S.R. Krishnamurthy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to honor Professor Purushottama Belipalli, our chief guest. Please, Rama. రాకపోతే
Okay. So, K. Ramasurya Narayana Garu, please get the honor. Next, H.C. Boralingaya Garu. Okay. H.C. Boralingaya Garu. Okay. Professor Raghavan Payanad Garu. Professor G.K. Panikar Garu. Okay. Okay. Raghavan Payanad Garu. Oh. Okay, next. G.K. Panikar Garu. Sri P. Lakshmi Narayana Garu.
now it is our privilege to honor Professor J.S.R. Krishnamurthy, Honorable Vice Chancellor, by our President, Professor H.A. Borlinga garu. No, don't. Lakshmi Narayana. Now, I request Professor S.C. Borlinga garu to honor our sponsor, Sri P. Lakshmi Narayana. Yeah. Now I request sir to honor our organizing secretary. Come on, sir, you are our organizing secretary. Yeah, now I request Professor B. Krishna Reddy, the Vice President, Fossils, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. Respected dignitaries on the dais, delegates from different states of India, delegates from different parts of India, invitees. On this happy occasion, I feel privileged to propose vote of thanks. In fact, initially we thought of holding this event in the capital city of Andhra Pradesh. We have our expansion activities in the capital cities. Of course, I asked one of my friends who is working in Nagarjuna University, Professor Varaprasad Murthy. He expressed his inability in holding this particular event there. Luckily, he was available in Tirupati on that day. Immediately asked myself and N.V. Reddy sir to meet the Vice Chancellor. He also accompanied us. Vice Chancellor, within just a few minutes, maximum 10 minutes, he readily accepted to extend all the facilities, including financial assistance also. That's more important. Up to 3 lakhs, and he readily accepted our request. He immediately asked Dr. Nalana, head of the Department of Telugu of this institution, to come there immediately, and he was directed to hold this event. So that is unexpected event. Holding a big event like this for 3 days in Tirupati, it's a difficult task because of this pilgrim nature of the city. At one stage, even we thought of seeking Vice Chancellor's help in getting darshan, Tirumala Lord Venkateswara darshan. Of course, it did not materialize because there are many Vice Chancellors in Tirupati. Every day, all Vice Chancellors give so many recommendation letters. And people in the new government, especially the top officers in the TTD, may not oblige our request or anybody's request. So that's what the personal assistant of Vice Chancellor told in our presence. Anyway, and we took liberty, sir, for that. Please don't think otherwise. So for that, okay, sir. So there were so many requests of this type. So for all this, we are helpless, sir, regarding Tirumala Darshan. Okay. Then on this occasion, sir, on behalf of myself and Fazils, we thank you profusely. And next, we thank Purushottam Vilamale, Chairman, Kannada Development Authority, Karnataka. Of course, he is also known, a very long friend of us. He is very familiar with fossils. And for being chief guest and for inaugurating this event, he could spare all his valuable time. He came all the way from Bangalore, and he is with us now. And we are also thankful to Professor S.C. Borlingaya for addressing this occasion as a president of FOSILS for this year. Thank you very much, sir. And Professor Raghavan, sir, is we are very thankful to Raghavan, sir, who is a part and parcel of FOSILS for a long years, because he held different positions in FOSILS. He was also the correspondent secretary for these FOSILS. So for making a valuable, insightful address on this occasion. And we also thank you, sir, G.K. Panikar, sir, for having come all the way from Kerala to Tirupati. And lastly, not lastly, in fact, our organization owes a lot to the Telugu department, especially Dr. Nalana and his team. Young fellow, yeah? Young colleague, like Mr. Lakshmanarayana, I think he is there. We wanted to felicitate him, in fact. He worked day and night for making this event a successful one. Yes, Madam also extended a lot of cooperation for making this event a memorable one. Yeah, Brahmanand Reddy, I think he is our student. He really obliged. He was our student at Kuppam. He did all his, whatever he was assigned to do. And with here, we have some internal, external, and familial constraints also. Yet we could manage the program very well. In spite of that, though we worked hard for these days, one or two lapses occurred without our knowledge. So if there are any lapses on our side, so please excuse us. We did our best. But I'm sure we did our best in spite of so many constraints. So this is all about proposing vote of thanks, and it's time for lunch. Let us join there. Please.
We have a lunch at Vedachala backside.